Daniel here. Comics and Stuff, New Acquisitions 2. Okay, so it's been a couple of years since I've done a video on this one for this channel. Here's another one. These are recent acquisitions for comics. X-Men Manowar number 25. First appearance of the Armorines. The Armorines Zero issue was also included in that. X-Men Manowar 25. Spider-Gwen Shadow Clones number 3. Really like that cover. I'm a fan of Spider-Gwen. I got a number of Spider-Gwen comics. Night Force number 1 from the 1980s. First appearance of Night Force. It's a reasonably good graded copy. Most of these are in decent enough condition. Teen Titans Academy number 1. The first sort of appearance of Red X. One of the genuine first appearances of Red X. Recent one, Future State one. Tales of Teen Titans 78. Now this is ironic. It's the end of an era. It's not the final issue of Tales of Teen Titans. But this is the final issue before I actually started collecting comics from a newsstand in Kuma. I started when I went in to buy comics, and my first Tales of Teen Titans comic, which I collected from a news agency, was the issue 79, just following this issue. So that was just before I started. End of an era. Funny. The Legion of Superheroes number 301. It needs a pressing. It's a bit bent for cover. There's a little bit of staining on it. So pressing one eternity would be a good idea. But it's a good one to get. Happy enough with that one. They'll be expensive one day. Justice League Gods and Monsters Batman number 1. Well, that's interesting. Of course, part 1 of the DCU slate is called Gods and Monsters. Justice League America 76 and 77. Of course, I've bought these years ago, the original copies, and bought all the Justice League of Volume 2 years ago. But I just bought them again for the first appearance of Bloodwind. This is his 77, I think, is his first full appearance. Now, this is Justice League America 61, which is back about 15 or so issues. This is the first appearance of the Bloodwind image or costume, or the imagery of Bloodwind. Martian Manhunter disguised himself as Bloodwind. So it wasn't technically Bloodwind. It's the same sort of idea for New Mutants 98 and X-Force 11. New Mutants 98 introduces Domino, as it were, but it's really a character called Copycat, who looks exactly the same as Domino. Domino's first appearance is actually in X-Force number 11, a little bit later. So same sort of thing there. Justice League America 36. I think this is the first appearance of Mr. Nebula, which is a reasonably good one. Justice League International 23. First appearance of the Injustice League. Not sure if that's anything particularly major with the Injustice comics of recent times, but that's the Injustice League. Justice League International number 16. First appearance of a second Queen Bee. The first Queen Bee appeared in the old Justice League volumes, volume 1. And I've got her first appearance, actually, a nice graded copy. Justice League International number 12. First appearance of Tora Olafsdotter, Ice Maiden. Originally in the Global Guardians, she joined the Justice League International. Created by Keith Giffen, most likely. She's popped up recently in the Fire and Ice miniseries happening at the moment from DC. Justice League number 2, which is essentially Justice League International number 2. It becomes Justice League International at issue 7. So that's the first appearance of a Grey Man in that one, Justice League number 2. Anima number 1, which is the second appearance of Anima. I've got 3 copies in there. Her debut was the New Titans annual number 9, where she was part of the Bloodline story. This is the series I launched out of her. It does have first appearances Alison Hell and the Boojum band members. That's her first appearance. Alison Hell's first appearance as an anima #1. I write a lot of Alison Hell stories at DC Noah. Starman number 15. This is the first appearance of that character, Deadline. So that's his debut appearance. That's Starman number 15. Okay. Mr. Miracle number 7. This is the first appearance of Jacob 3, Mr. Miracle's son. He's born as a little baby in this issue. Okay. Mr. Miracle number 15, first appearance of Shiloh Norman, who was a Mr. Miracle for a while. This is 1970s issue. It's low grade, but it's complete enough, so it'll do me. Arrow number 1, based on the TV series. This is the comic. It's a little bit shitty of a condition, but it'll do. Green Lantern Sinestro Corps special. First appearance of Ramat Rue and a few others as well. It's got some first appearances in that. That goes back a few years. Green Lantern number 12. This is the first appearance of a Green Lantern Brick, and she's in DC Noah, and I think there's a few other debuts in there, most likely, with Green Lantern Corps showing up in the issue. Green Lantern number 5. Apparently the first appearance of Tomar 2. He might have been in the Green Lantern movie. It looks like that was Tomar 2 or Tomar Ray or something. Batman 133, a recent issue, not a key that I'm aware of, but it's a recent issue. It looks good inside. The artwork these days is pretty special for most of them. Batman number 12, the New 52 era, first appearance of Harper Row. And, first origin of Harper Row is Bluebird. And the first appearance of her brother, Cullen Rowe, who's a part of the Alison Hell stories and the DC Noah stories at DC Noah, on the Noahide Comics website on YouTube. Okay. Batman number 7, the first appearance of Bluebird, I think. Harper Row. Harper Row. This is her first appearance. Not her origin, but her first appearance. Batman 550, first appearance of Chase Cameron. I think that's the name. Cameron Chase, whatever it was. I always give Chase Cameron, I think. She had a comic series of her own for a bit. Introducing that issue. Future State, Kara Zor-El, Superwoman number 1. Could be a key, I don't know. There might be a first appearance in it, I don't know. But it's got some pretty special artwork. Okay. Action Comics number 5, a New 52 run. When they relaunched Action Comics, first appearance of Zardu. What's interesting about that character is that he's a Kryptonian. There's not a huge amount of Kryptonians, of course. Action Comics 845, first appearance of Ursa. This is Ursa from the Phantom Zone with General Zod and Non. Ursa's the chick. They're in Superman 2, the movie, and in Man of Steel. So she's a significant character, and this is her actual first ever appearance in DC Universe continuity. So it is actually a reasonable key. Action Comics 845. Fairy of Evil Argus number 4. First appearance of a character called Psy, who's not a heavy hitter in any way, but is technically a key. It's a minor key. Millennium number 2. There are various serious appearances of New Guardians characters in there, which have had a comic a couple of times. It's a little bit of a key. Millennium number 2. Angle Superman introduced to Superwoman, which is DC Comics presents Angle number 2, I think it is, 1 or 2, back in the early 80s. This is the Australian edition variant of it. Now, it introduces this character as a Superwoman, and it also introduces a character called King Cosmos, who's a major character in the DC Noah fanfiction at Noahide Comics, which I do myself, if you're curious. And finally, DC Comics presents 77, first appearance of the League of Supervillains, and was just a standard DC Comics Presents issue. So there's some of the recent comics acquisitions, Comics and Stuff. So it's called Comics and Stuff. So I got a little bit of stuff on some recent things that I've got also. Some CD singles. Sugar Babes Ugly, got that recently on eBay. Spice Girls Holler. Girls Aloud's Biology, and The Cause Breathless. So they're just some recent acquisitions also. So, and I'm Tom.